Hello, you wonderful dreamers, and welcome back to the English Episode channel, the only place on the internet where learning English feels less like a classroom and more like, well, a really weird dream. I'm your host, Leo.
And I'm your other host, Lily. And Leo, you look like you just woke up from a 10-hour nap where you were being chased by giant butterflies made of toast.
How did you know? It wasn't toast, it was croissants. Giant, buttery, flying croissants. And I tried to tell my roommate about it, but all I could manage to say was dream, croissants, fly, fast, scary. I sounded like a caveman describing an airplane.
That is the most relatable thing I've heard all week. You have this epic, high-definition, blockbuster movie in your head all night, full of plot twists and special effects, but when you try to explain it, you have the vocabulary of a broken toy. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it?
It's a nightmare, pun intended. You want to say I had a surreal experience where I was soaring through a turquoise sky, pursued by a flock of enormous flaky pastries, but it just comes out as me fly. Food, chase me.
Exactly, and that is precisely why we are here today. We are going to be your dream translators. We're going to give you all the words, the phrases, the grammar, and the confidence you need to become a master storyteller of your own nighttime adventures.
That's right, so grab your notebooks or just wake your brain up because today we are diving deep into the weird, wonderful, and sometimes terrifying world of how to talk about your dreams in fluent, fantastic English. By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe every single detail, from the color of the dragon's scales to the taste of the clouds.
Let's start with the absolute basics. When you want to tell someone you had a dream, you have a few simple ways to begin. The most common is, of course, I had a dream last night.
Simple, classic, gets the job done. You can also say, I dreamt about something strange last night. Or for a more dramatic effect, you could lean in and whisper, you won't believe what I dreamt about.
Right. But what kind of dream was it? Not all dreams are the same. Let's break down the types. First, you have your good dreams. These are the lovely ones. You could say, I had such a pleasant dream, or I had a wonderful dream.
Like the one where I won a lifetime supply of pizza? That wasn't just a good dream, Lily. That was a fantastic dream. Or you could say an amazing dream. For example, I had an amazing dream where I could talk to animals.
And on the flip side, you have the scary ones. The most common word is a nightmare. I had a terrible nightmare last night. You can also use words like a bad dream, a frightening dream, or a terrifying dream.
I had a terrifying dream once that I showed up to an exam and realized it was all in a language I didn't know, and I wasn't wearing any pants. Classic. For that, you could say it was a total nightmare.
A classic indeed. Then you have the most common category for people like Leo, the weird or bizarre dreams. These are the ones that make absolutely no sense.
My specialty. Like my flying croissant dream. You could say, I had the strangest dream, or I had a really bizarre dream. The word surreal is perfect here. It means something is very strange and dreamlike. I had a surreal dream where my cat was the president of the United States.
And he'd probably be a great president. Now, two more important types. A lucid dream. This is when you know you are dreaming while you're in the dream. You can sometimes even control what happens. It was incredible. I had a lucid dream and I decided to fly.
Ooh, I love lucid dreams. It's like being the director of your own movie. And finally, the recurring dream. This is a dream that you have over and over again. I keep having this recurring dream where I'm trying to run, but my legs won't move. So frustrating.
So, to recap, you have good dreams, nightmares, weird or bizarre dreams, lucid dreams, and recurring dreams. Just identifying the type of dream is a great starting point for your story.
Absolutely. And hey, speaking of great things, if you're enjoying the stream journey so far, don't just dream about hitting the like button, make it a reality. Go on, give it a click. It helps our channel grow and reach more amazing learners like you.
And while you're at it, if you have a recurring dream, we'd be fascinated to hear about it. Let us know in the comments below. Now, let's move on to the next level, describing the feel and look of the dream. So, you've set the stage by saying what kind of dream it was. Now, you need to paint the picture. Was the dream clear, or was it fuzzy? A fantastic word for a very clear, realistic dream is vivid.
Vivid is perfect. It makes it sound so intense. I had an incredibly vivid dream. It felt so real. It's the opposite of a dream that you can barely remember. For that, you could use words like hazy, blurry, or vague.
Exactly. You might wake up and say, I know I dreamt about something, but it's all very hazy now. Or, I have a vague memory of being on a boat, but I can't remember the details.
It's like trying to remember a photo that's out of focus. Now, let's talk about the atmosphere of the dream. This is a game changer. The atmosphere is the emotional feeling of the place. Was it a happy place? A scary place?
Let's start with the positive atmospheres. You could say the dream was magical or enchanting. For example, I dreamt I was in a forest and the atmosphere was magical. The trees were glowing with a soft blue light.
Ooh, I like that. Or maybe the dream was just really calm. You could use words like serene or peaceful. I had a dream I was sitting by a perfectly still lake. The whole scene was so serene. It sounds relaxing even now.
It does. Now for the darker side. If a dream is scary, the atmosphere is key. You could see the atmosphere was eerie, which means strange and frightening. I dreamt I was walking through an empty house, and the atmosphere was really eerie. I felt like I was being watched.
Goosebumps. Another great word is gloomy or somber, which means dark and sad. The dream city was always rainy and gray. It had a very gloomy feel to it. You could also use menacing, which means it feels like something bad is about to happen. The shadows in my dream seemed to be moving. The whole forest felt menacing.
These words are so much more powerful than just saying, it was scary. They create a specific feeling for your listener. Let's try to put it together. Leo, describe the atmosphere of your croissant dream.
Okay, let's see. I had a bizarre dream. I was in a city, but the buildings were all made of books. At first, the atmosphere was whimsical and fun, but then the sky turned dark, and giant, menacing croissants started swooping down. The atmosphere immediately became chaotic and terrifying.
See, brilliant. You've gone from me fly, food chase me to a full-on cinematic experience. You used bizarre to set the type, whimsical for the initial atmosphere, and then menacing, chaotic, and terrifying to describe the shift.
I feel like a professional dream teller now, and you can too. Practice using these words. The next time you wake up from a dream, try to think, was it vivid or hazy? Was the atmosphere magical or eerie?
It's a great exercise. And speaking of exercises, another great one is to hit that subscribe button. If you want to keep improving your English and have fun while doing it, join our English episode channel family. We post new videos every week.
Don't let your dream of speaking fluent English be just a dream. Subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Now, Lily, what about the crazy things that happen in dreams? The plot.
Ah, yes, the action sequences. Dreams don't follow the laws of physics, so we need some special verbs and phrases to describe the events. One of the most common dream actions is flying.
My favorite. You can say I was flying, but to make it more descriptive, you can use words like soaring or gliding. I was soaring over mountains. Sounds much more majestic. I was gliding peacefully over the ocean. Sounds calmer.
And the opposite of flying is falling. You can say, I was falling, but to add intensity, you can use the word plummeting. I felt that horrible stomach-lurching feeling as I was plummeting through the clouds.
Oh, I hate that feeling. What about being chased? That's another super common one. I was being chased is good, but you can be more specific. A mysterious figure was pursuing me through a dark alley, or I was fleeing from a giant spider.
Pursuing and fleeing from are excellent, more formal choices. You can also describe how you were running. I was sprinting for my life. Or the classic dream problem, I was trying to run, but my legs were moving in slow motion.
Ugh, the slow motion run. It's the worst. You're trying so hard, but you feel like you're running through honey. You could say, I felt completely powerless as I tried to escape.
Another key feature of dreams is how things suddenly appear or change. For something suddenly appearing, you can say, it appeared out of nowhere or out of the blue. I was walking in a desert and a huge castle appeared out of nowhere.
And what about when things change into other things? My friend once dreamt his dog turned into a loaf of bread.
For that, you need the verb to morph or to transform. It was so strange. I was holding my phone and then it morphed into a banana. Or I watched in disbelief as the car transformed into a horse.
These are fantastic. It adds that layer of pure weirdness that is so essential to dream stories. What about the feeling of being lost or trapped?
Great question. You can say I was lost, or you can be more descriptive. I was wandering endlessly through a maze of identical corridors. For feeling trapped, you can say I was trapped in a room with no doors, or the walls were closing in on me. That phrase, closing in on me, really creates a sense of panic.
It really does. Okay, so let's try to build a small story with these. I had a terrifying dream where I was being pursued by my high school math teacher. I was sprinting down a hallway that seemed to stretch on forever. Suddenly, the hallway transformed into a forest and I was wandering endlessly among the trees.
Perfect. You see how combining these phrases creates a dynamic and engaging narrative. You're not just listing facts, you're telling a story.
And we want to hear your stories. What's the strangest thing that has ever morphed or transformed in your dream? Share your weirdest dream transformations in the comments. And if this video is transforming your English skills for the better, show us some love with a share. Share it with a friend who also has crazy dreams.
Yes, please do. Now that we have the setting, the atmosphere, and the action, there's one more crucial element we need to master: expressing emotions.
Dreams are, above all, an emotional experience. The feelings you have in a dream are often much more intense than in real life. So saying, I was happy or I was scared is good, but we can do better.
Let's level up our emotional vocabulary. Instead of just happy, what can we say? If you were extremely happy, you could say you were overjoyed, ecstatic, or euphoric. In my dream, I found out I could breathe underwater, and I was absolutely ecstatic.
Those are powerful words. Euphoric especially suggests an intense, almost overwhelming feeling of happiness. On the other hand, for fear, instead of just scared, you can use words we mentioned earlier, like terrified or frightened. You can also describe the physical sensation of fear. My heart was pounding in my chest, or I was paralyzed with fear.
Paralyzed with fear is a great one. It perfectly describes that feeling when you're too scared to even move. What about sadness?
Instead of just sad, you could say you felt heartbroken, devastated, or that you had a sense of deep sorrow. I dreamed my childhood home was gone, and I woke up feeling heartbroken. It conveys a much deeper level of sadness.
And what about that classic dream emotion? Confusion, when nothing makes any sense.
For confusion, you can say you were bewildered or baffled. I dreamed that everyone was speaking in rhymes, and I was completely bewildered. You can also describe the feeling of things not being right with the phrase, I had a nagging feeling that something was wrong.
Ooh, that's a good one. A nagging feeling. It's that little voice in the back of your head. Another big one is anxiety or worry.
Yes, that feeling of dread. You can say, I felt a growing sense of anxiety, or I was filled with a sense of dread. Dread is a fantastic word for when you feel that something terrible is about to happen. As I walked towards the dark cave in my dream, I was filled with a sense of dread.
Okay, so let's combine emotions with actions. My turn. I had a really vivid dream. I was soaring over a city made of crystal, and I felt euphoric. But then the crystals started to crack. I was filled with a sense of dread as I started plummeting towards the ground. I woke up right before I hit, my heart pounding in my chest.
Excellent, Leo. You used vivid, soaring, euphoric, a sense of dread, plummeting, and heart pounding. You've just told a compelling, emotional mini story in 3 sentences. That is the goal.
I'm getting good at this. You know, Lily, teaching this is making me feel overjoyed. And I'd be even more overjoyed if all our amazing viewers out there let us know what kind of video they want to see next.
That's a great idea. Is there a specific topic you're struggling with in English? Phrasal verbs, business English, how to order complicated coffees? Let us know in the comments. Your suggestions help us create content that you really need.
And we really read them all. The good, the bad, the weirdly specific. So don't be shy. Now, are we ready to put everything we've learned together into a full-blown dream recount?
I think we are. It's time for the final challenge, the ultimate dream recount.
Okay, so we're gonna put everything together. I'll go first. I'll describe a full, detailed dream using a lot of the vocabulary we've discussed. Everyone watching, listen for the key words about dream type, atmosphere, action, and emotion.
The pressure is on. Let's hear it, Lily.
All right. I had the most surreal dream last night. It was so vivid, I can still picture it perfectly. I dreamt I was in a bustling city, but it was entirely underwater. I could breathe perfectly, and shimmering schools of fish were like traffic swimming between towering coral skyscrapers. The atmosphere was absolutely magical and serene. I felt a sense of wonder and was completely captivated by the beauty of it all. I was gliding effortlessly through the water, just observing everything. But then, the atmosphere shifted. The water started to get dark and murky. A deep, low sound echoed through the city, and I was filled with a sudden sense of dread. Out of the gloom, a colossal squid with glowing red eyes appeared, its tentacles as thick as tree trunks. It wasn't chasing me, but it was destroying the beautiful coral buildings. I felt heartbroken watching the magical city crumble. I tried to swim away, but I felt like I was moving in slow motion, paralyzed with fear. I was completely powerless. I remember thinking, this is a nightmare. And just as a giant tentacle was about to smash into the building right next to me, I woke up.
Wow. Just wow. That was amazing, Lily. I felt like I was there. I heard surreal, vivid, magical, serene, sense of wonder, then the shift with sense of dread, heartbroken, paralyzed with fear and powerless, plus gliding and moving in slow motion. 10 out of 10.
Thank you. See how layering all those different elements makes the story come alive? Your listener can almost see and feel the dream with you. Now, your turn, Leto. Give us one of your classic bizarre adventures.
All right, challenge accepted. Here we go. So I have this absolutely bizarre recurring dream again. It always starts the same way. I'm in a grand, old-fashioned train station, but the clocks are all melting like in a Dali painting. The atmosphere is very eerie and confusing. I always have a nagging feeling that I'm late for something incredibly important. Suddenly, a steam train made of polished wood and brass pulls into the station, but it has no tracks. It just hovers silently. I felt a mix of anxiety and curiosity, and I decided to get on. The moment I stepped inside, the interior transformed. It was no longer a train. It was a vast, ancient library with books floating in the air. I was bewildered. An owl wearing a monocle glided down and handed me a book. I opened it, and all the pages were blank. The owl just hooted softly, and I was suddenly overwhelmed with a feeling of profound sadness, though I didn't know why. I tried to ask the owl what was happening, but I couldn't speak. I'd lost my voice. Just as I started to panic, the floor disappeared, and I began plummeting through a vortex of floating letters and numbers. And that's when I always wake up feeling completely disoriented.
A time-traveling library train with a monocled owl, Leo. Your brain is a fascinating place. But your description was perfect. Bizarre, recurring, eerie, confusing, nagging feeling, transformed, bewildered, overwhelmed with sadness, plummeting. You used the language to make your strange dream understandable and compelling.
Thank you. It's so much more satisfying to be able to explain the full weirdness, you know? And that's what we want for all of you, to be able to share your unique inner worlds with confidence.
That's our goal. So your homework, if you choose to accept it, is to write down your next dream using as much of this new vocabulary as you can. You don't have to show anyone. It's just for you to practice and build that skill.
And if you're feeling brave, you can practice in the comments below. We've created a safe space for English learners here. And if you think this video has been helpful, you know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. It's the trifecta of support, and we appreciate it more than you know.
Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about a few fun idioms related to dreams that you can use in everyday conversation. These don't have to be about actual dreams you had while sleeping.
Ooh, idioms. I love idioms. They make you sound so much more like a native speaker. What's first?
First up is a very common one, a dream come true. This means something you've wanted for a long time has finally happened. For example, getting this job was a dream come true for me.
A classic. Like, winning a lifetime supply of pizza would be a dream come true. See? It all comes back to pizza. What's next?
The opposite of that is a pipe dream. A pipe dream is a hope or a plan that is impossible or very unlikely to happen. For instance, his plan to build a hotel on the moon is just a pipe dream.
So, my plan to teach my cat to play the piano is a pipe dream?
Most likely, Leo. But you never know. Next, we have in your wildest dreams. You use this to emphasize that something is far beyond what you could ever imagine. For example, never in my wildest dreams did I think I would one day be living in New York City.
It's a great way to show surprise and delight. Never in my wildest dreams did I think this video would get 1 million likes. Hint, hint, everyone.
Subtle, Leo. Another good one is living the dream. This is often used sarcastically to mean your life is not as great as it seems, but it can also be used sincerely. If your friend asks, "How's the new job?" and you're working 12-hour days, you might say with a tired smile, "Oh, you know, living the dream."
It's all about the tone of voice with that one. And finally,
dream on. This is a slightly rude or playful way to tell someone that what they want is never going to happen. If I said, "Leo, I bet you could clean your entire apartment in 10 minutes, you might laugh and say,
dream on, Lily. Dream on. Exactly. It's like saying, keep dreaming because it's not happening in reality.
So, we have a dream come true, a pipe dream, in your wildest dreams, living the dream, and dream on. Try to slip one of these into a conversation this week. It'll make your English sound much more natural and colorful.
These are fantastic tools to add to our English learning toolkit. This has been such a fun topic, Lily. I feel like we've journeyed through the human subconscious itself.
It has been fun and hopefully incredibly useful for everyone watching. We've covered everything from the basic types of dreams to advanced idioms.
We've turned your me-see weird thing into a full, poetic, cinematic masterpiece. You are now all certified dream whisperers. All right, that's all the time we have for today's episode. We have given you a mountain of vocabulary and phrases. Don't feel pressured to memorize everything at once. Just pick a few new words or phrases that you liked and try to use them.
Exactly. The most important part of learning is to have fun with it. And what's more fun than talking about dreams where your teeth fall out or you're flying on a giant croissant? English learning should be an adventure, not a chore. We truly hope this video helps you express yourself more clearly and creatively. Your thoughts, your ideas, and yes, even your dreams are important. And having the right words to share them is a superpower.
It really is, and we want to thank every single one of you for spending your time with us today. You, our community, are the reason we make these videos. So one last time, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the English Episode channel. Hit that like button if we helped you today, and share this video with anyone you know who wants to improve their English.
Your support means the world to us. And remember to comment below with ideas for future topics. We are always listening.
So until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep dreaming. But now you know how to talk about it when you wake up.
That's right. Goodbye for now, everyone. Stay curious.
Bye.
Oh, and Lily, for our next video, what if we taught people how to argue politely in English? You know, for when you disagree with your friend who thinks a croissant chase dream is silly.
How to politely disagree and argue in English?
I like it. It sounds dramatic. We could teach people how to win an argument without losing a friend.
Exactly. So to all of you watching, if you want to see me and Lily have a very polite, very English argument right here on this set, you know what to do. Let us know and subscribe so you don't miss it. It's going to be epic. Bye for real this time.